By the end of the year, it'll probably be 25,000 new graduate students came in. That is at root credit to Local 896 and UE having held that flag. This has opened up the door to a whole new generation.
You were talking about UE won another grad union election, and like every single other, I can't even remember hearing about a grad union election that was close. That's how lopsided every single grad union election has been for a long time now. And that is great in and of itself, you know, for obvious reasons. And like you said, not a moment too soon. But it's the thing about grad unions that is kind of unique is that these people, like, that's not where they're going to stay, and they're going to be going into other workplaces. You know, some of these people are going to be plucked into union staff. Some of these people are going to, you know, just drop their education path and industrialize. Some of them are going to unionize other white collar workplaces. But you know, the thing is, hopefully, that these grad unions are going to basically cultivate a lot of seeds that are going to be spread across the entire workforce, that will blossom into into worker organizers, union organizers, and these other in lots of other workplaces.
You were spot on, and I'll validate your hypothesis here. When UE reached out to the workers in Iowa City, Iowa, the University of Iowa in 1995, we began to work with that group that was joining UE at that time. UE was organizing thousands of public sector workers in Iowa. They joined really on the basis that they were also public employees. But that campaign lasted from 1995 into 1996, and they won their election by a decent majority in 1996. It was therefore chartered as UE Local 896, as in 1996. Well, anyway, for the entire time that local, and below, Iowa has had some real versions of anti-union attacks, just like Florida, worse in some ways. But anyway, Local 896 is legendary for its contribution to the union itself with its talent. And a week doesn't go by that I don't have a conversation with somebody in the labor movement now, some of them gone from that local for 25 years, but I'll run into folks, or they will contact me, and here they are. They're running unions. They're involved in academia. They're involved in other higher education projects. They're in other workplaces entirely different where they've moved on. I mean, think about it. Every 4 or 5 years, the entire membership turns over in one of these things. The turnover is built in. So for a long time, when we took that group in, we had a question in our minds at UE: would this be feasible? Could we sustain this? And not only did we find that we couldn't sustain it, there was a real vitality there amongst the younger, sometimes lefty, but always younger elements in those groups. And I guess the other thing would be the degraded situation that was forced on these workers, and still is, absent a union, the low wages, the lack of benefits, the whole workload problem. I mean, this really is an exploitive. I was a guy that never went to college. I never set foot in college, so it always looked pretty spiffy to me from the outside looking in. But when I participated in organizing that group, or playing my small part in organizing that group in Iowa City, I was horrified. I'm thinking, wow, these are the folks teaching classes and doing all the work and whatnot. They're paid nothing, and then they make them pay tuition, and they don't have health insurance. I mean, UE has done a great job, I know, of keeping in mind where they began in 1996 and where they are today. And it's just a world of a difference. And I commend Local 896 because this new moment where, like I said, that by the end of the year, it'll probably be 25,000 new graduate students came in. That is at root credit to Local 896 and UE having held that flag and done that work and blazed the trail all of the originals are long, long gone, but they deserve credit for this. This has opened up the door to a whole new generation of unionists in other places. And I can't remember what the one pending election is to come, but it's by the end of the year, another election is scheduled. So.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Well, appreciate the validation of my hypothesis, and it was not my hypothesis. I think I've heard that in other places because it seems like it's not.
Sure it is. You can have it.
It's not. It doesn't exactly take a
It's
genius.
The people's
to
hypothesis.
The people's
okay?
hypothesis.
It's a collective product, right? We all contributed to it. We're all putting our little 2 cents in, and it adds up to $1. So there we go.
Well, I appreciate that, and from our lips to God's ears, that this is what we are going to do. That this is what's going to happen with all these grad unions, and I'm really looking forward to it, to seeing it happen. So, Chris, really appreciate your time. Very generous with your time as always, and looking forward to many more conversations with you over several.
Yeah,
several
absolutely.
Years.
Many, many thanks. I'll log off, and then I'll have to figure out how I put this on my credit card. I'm so old school. I'm not just old. I'm old school. So anyway, I got to do that. Maybe I'll save having to write a check to you guys, but I want to put in $250 for these strikers, and then I guess I'll have to figure out a way to send you guys something for your show, because I know that's a necessity for you guys to keep it going. So and it's deserving. I would remind the readers that next month, don't forget about TVLR in terms of its needs.
I appreciate that, and it's up to you what you want to do as far as if you'd like to, send me an email with how much you want to donate. I'd be happy to donate that myself, since I know that you don't like to use you don't like to donate credit card over the internet and stuff, and then you can send a check and as a reimbursement, or if you just rather do the credit card over the internet yourself.
Well, let me go. I mean, I gotta, I'm 62 years old. I gotta learn to do this sooner or later, and I just have never had a nickel when I was a kid, and I just never ever got into any electronic stuff, credit card. Seems ridiculous to even say it. But maybe that's why I actually have a few bucks set aside, because I couldn't spend it.
All of us could probably learn something from you.
And then parallel to this, guys, you guys know I'm the book guy, and this year I have purchased and sold about $6,000 worth of labor books, and more on order. And what I realize is because I don't know how the hell Venmo works, I take a beating. Because I invariably have folks, I just give them out, and I'm not skint, so I don't have to worry too much about the money. But I could do even more if I could actually collect. So anyway, I have a young person lined up who's going to show me how all that hocus pocus works. And everyone laughs because the last time I ran one of our organizing schools and tried to sell the books, nobody carries cash anymore. And I'm ready there with change and everything. And I'm just thinking, well, Townsend, you better get with the program here. This is not coming back the way it used to be. But I will say that our movement must be pretty honest, because my willingness to just be generous and say, hey, mail me a $10 bill, mail me a $20 bill, whatever it is. After this last school that I ran a couple of weeks ago, I've gotten like a dozen letters in the mail with money in them. And I was just totally blown away. And I thought, this says something about the young generation here, that they appreciate this. And, so anyway, I've got to get with the program here, and that's for me to deal with. So it's coming. And the era of the almost free books from Townsend declining. The window is closing, so you better hurry up and get hold of me before I master the craft here. But anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks to you guys,
Chris. Appreciate it.
Doing all this, and I will sit up in solidarity until when the hell is it? Tomorrow? When?
5:30.
All right, there you go.
5:30 p.m.
And my wife might be my wife is on duty right now as a paramedic at the city of Alexandria. member of the firefighters union. She told me, she's customarily up all night anyway. So her and her local leadership, I sent them all the notice, and I said, hey, tune in, and this will be an interesting thing for them, something better to watch than what they normally watch in the middle of the night, because they can never sleep. They run so many calls. So anyway, shout out to my wife. I wouldn't have a damn thing if it wasn't for her.
There you go. Yeah, some of us have.
So there. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Appreciate
it. To be continued. Thanks.
All right, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it as always. Chris is great. Yeah.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.